Welcome to Find It. It's the after Christmas party. This week I have a very special guest, as I always do. Last week, though, I had my son, and I called him my very special guest, my favorite guest, not thinking I've got my daughter on next week. So she's also my favorite guest. And it's just like a big old holiday fun day, more like the Griswolds. We'll tell you why in just a minute. We're going to bring Victoria, aka Tori, on in just a minute after this. Welcome. We are here. This podcast tonight is going to be completely different than anything I've ever done because she has requested it. I might like it so much I may start this for all my podcasts.
Yeah, a new little segment.
A little segment.
So we made
a little girl chat segment, except if I have a guy on, then he's going to have guy-girl talk.
Yeah.
Which is also fun. But we're going to just kind of go over a few things, but then we're going to delve into some topics that really mean something to Tori, right?
Yes.
But before we do that, I promised you guys, it was like a Griswold's Christmas up here because this girl decides that she's going to, because, you know, she's in law school in Columbus. She lives in downtown Columbus.
Yes. Near the law school. I see the law school every day. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Works at law school and decides it's a great idea that she's going to get a Doberman puppy. And I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. You have your hands full. It's not time for a puppy. But then guess what happens?
I got the puppy because I wanted the puppy. She's so cute. And I wanted a little companion, a little partner in crime action. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a Doberman. I've always wanted a Doberman.
Okay, so but many of you that follow Tori and I understand that she also rescued the Chihuahua with the broken leg and the chopped off tail her senior year of high school. So she rescued it, but then she went and lived in a dorm. So who kept the Chihuahua? Yes, I fell in love with the Chihuahua. I love the Chihuahua.
Okay. And she's falling in love with Naomi too.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what happened. Merry Christmas.
It was Christmas Eve.
Yes,
it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. Okay. We're all asleep. We're ready for a good Christmas.
I'm ready to play Santa.
And we are rudely awoken.
Because of Chihuahua.
Because Bambi was like, get up. And I'm like, she has to pee. So I'm like, I'm going to have to get up and let her out. She didn't. She was telling on my Doberman, who was next to me, just explosive diarrhea all over the place.
Okay, so when we say explosive diarrhea, I'm sorry if anyone's eating dinner right now.
Stop eating. Hold on. Stop eating.
You may not want to listen. Like, she must have stood up and like circled, and she's tall, and it was, can you understand where I'm going with this? It was in the crate. On the crate is like, you know, a cage, so it got all on that, the wall,
my dresser, my bed, everything. It was
so tragic. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I can't. The smell, I've never smelled anything like it. I've never seen anything like it.
But whoa, I'm a seasoned vet with this. Okay, she's had this before. So in my apartment, it's been all over my wall in my apartment. Okay, it's been everywhere, and I had to clean it up by myself because, you know, I'm independent girl cleaning up dog poop. But this is the first time
I've never seen anything like it.
It was during finals as well. So like I was alone during finals, so I got this. I'm like, Mom, just get the napkins. Let's go. Let's get the cleaner. And
I said, I can't do it. And she goes, you have children. I'm like, I know.
She's in the doorway of my room going, huh, huh. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, are you going to sit there?
And this is so weird that you took the lead because I cleaned up after the kids. It was always, anyway. Then guess what? What happened the next night?
Oh, diarrhea. it happened again.
I was like, I am dying and I can't take it. It was just awful. And so now I'm traumatized. Every time the dog like moves, I'm like, does it have to go out? Does it have to go out? I mean, I'm like, we were setting alarms to wake up every hour.
Me.
No, I was getting up telling you to get up. I set the alarm to tell her to get up and take her dog out.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, outside of that, we really are going to get into some topics, some mother-daughter conversation that we have. And Tori said, Tori, her name, we call her Tori, her given name.
And here's the thing. I went to law school thinking, I'm going to tell everybody my name's Victoria. And I forgot that I put like the nickname thing on my application that says, what's your nickname? I just, out of habit, put Tori. Now everybody calls me Tori. And I'm like, I wanted to go by Victoria.
Yeah. Well, you kind of are a Tori.
Yeah.
Tori fits you because you're kind of a badass a little bit. And,
Victoria's a badass,
right? Victoria is but it's more like, I'm so ladylike. Victoria, and I drink hot tea with crumpets, and have a lot of manners. And she's like, rub some dirt in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we're like, Tori fits. Yeah. We're going with that.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, Tori had asked me, she goes, well, you tell him what you said. You like having conversations with me.
I watched the podcast, obviously, support my mama. And I loved all the podcasts she's done. But I just think that there needs to be a little bit of a mom and daughter conversation happening rather than an interview. I don't think I'm special enough to be interviewed. I was like, I would love to come on and spout off though. Like, that's something I'd love to do. She was going to tell me twice. And she was like, but Tori, I'm like, no, I want to talk about things that are important to me, but also that we talk about.
That you and I do. We do talk about a lot of things.
And I wanted it to be like, there's a camera here, but you're sitting in on something that we do almost every day, whether it's over the phone or I'm home. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And so let's just dive right into, I don't know what, all of a sudden I got emotional. Like a little bit of emotion came. I'm like a big nerve ending.
We did this TikTok today and it was like, who's more emotional? And I'm like, this one is. Because why? Why are you tearing up?
I don't know.
It's okay. Let's get through it.
Let's talk it out. But no, so one of the things that means a lot to you that you said you wanted to discuss is body image and body positivity and things that go on, especially in young girls and my age too. Not saying I'm not young, but we all have, sometimes we have insecurities about the way we're built or the way we look or whatever. And so that's been something that Tori's been very passionate about for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I don't even know where to start with this. From a very young age, very aware of being different in a way because I have vitiligo, which is a skin deep pigment. So that affected my body and how I viewed my body. But as I got older and body image, body positivity, stuff like that started coming up, I started to feel like, well, I want my legs to look a certain way. I want my waist to look a certain way, my arms. And I was so focused on how I looked in the mirror rather than how I felt. And I wanted other women to know that everybody goes through it. Yeah. Everybody goes through it no matter what. And when I was at Ohio State, I think it was my sophomore year, and I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I think it's thyroiditis.
It's Hashimoto's. Yeah, it's thyroid disease. A lot of people have it.
Yeah,
a ton of people. I have it.
Yeah, and I was diagnosed with so many other autoimmune diseases, everything that made me retain weight, gain weight, and it really affected how I felt about myself. I didn't take pictures. There was a span of 2 years I didn't take pictures of myself because I was so self-conscious and embarrassed the way I looked. And I finally found a doctor, Julie. I love Julie.
Julie Grafmeyer.
If I could squeeze her and kiss her, I would. She's amazing.
Because we had gone to a lot of different doctors to figure out what all. It wasn't just Hashimoto's for Tori. There's some food allergies and PCOS, and there's a lot of things going on with her. And so
I think the biggest thing is the key that turned from me caring a lot about how I looked and what size I wore, what size jeans, smaller, medium, large, I would get so hung up on it versus And then the key turned when I met Julie, because she framed it in the way of, no, this is your health. It's not always like, once you get your health in order, your body and the way you look will fall into place, and you'll love your body because it's working for you. I think that was the biggest thing. And when that key clicked, and it took a while, because it takes a while to adjust, I stopped caring so much about how I looked. I was like, wow.
Or the sizes that you
or the
have
sizes
to buy
or everything.
to fit your body.
Yeah, or the cellulite, or the stretch marks. I used to be so upset about stretch marks. I would cry and be like, I need to go get these zapped, like now, like by like a plastic surgeon who can get them, make them look. It's not like it doesn't bother me anymore, because it bothers every once in a while. Yeah. We're human. Right. But now that I've framed it more in the way of, no, my body's working for me. And I love my legs. I can walk. I can go work out. I can go do this. And I love that. And it's changed my outlook and made me more positive, rather than focusing on how I look.
Why do you think you were so hung up on?
Oh, social media. I know what you're going to say.
No. Not necessarily that. That may have been a factor. But why do you think you and other people, and maybe even me a little bit too, why do you think you were so hung up on just the way your body looks, and why you wanted it to look different?
So if you follow my mom on social media, she's built completely different than I'm built.
Which isn't better.
Which isn't better. Different. But growing up, and I don't know if any of you can relate, if you have, there I am, there we are.
Well, this is important. This actually, when I saw you post this, it kind of made me cry a little bit, because I thought, wow, I didn't realize how much you looked at your mom thinking you should have looked or been built like me, because I always looked at you and thought, woo, I'd love to have that booty. Like, she's just so athletic. She's built so athletically. And, in my eyes, I thought she was just a little firecracker. I didn't know that this is how she felt, but I'm so glad that you found.
I think that being around someone that I admire so much, and I'm like, oh, I always wanted to wear loose clothes, like, the models with the loose jeans. I have a big bootay, okay? I've got big legs, and I have a smaller waist, so I just fit better in things that fit me pretty well in the leg and the butt, and then tighter
and cinching the waist.
And I think that I posted that because I'm comfortable enough with my body to be like, no, I love my body. I love how it looks. I love what it does for me. I get up every morning. I can walk. Whenever I feel like, oh, my leg, whenever I feel myself nitpicking in the mirror, oh, here, my legs need to be smaller here. My arms need to be bigger here. I want this. I think, oh my gosh, some people can't walk. Some people can't do these things. And I'm complaining about a little bit of extra junk in the trunk. And I don't know. And like, being around you my whole life, of course you want to be like your mom. You idolize your mom. So I wanted to wear the clothes you wear, and I couldn't because I was bigger on the bottom. So posting that saying, my mom doesn't look better, I don't look better, nobody's better, we're just different, and there's so much beauty in that.
There really is a lot of beauty in that.
And I love that.
It would be a boring world if we were all the same.
Oh yeah, gosh. And I am built like more like my dad, and he's got that big butt and big legs. And he's like, look how strong I am. I'm like, okay, that's beautiful, because I can be strong. And I love that. And I think that I don't worry about sizes that much anymore, and it's so easier said than done.
It is.
It's really constant, because you're sitting at home and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to just not care anymore. It takes work.
It does. Anything worthwhile takes work.
Yeah, it takes work. It takes work to be, Sean, it takes work to be, to love yourself in that way and be like, you know what? It's fine. I'm beautiful. And, I don't know. I just feel healthy now. Yeah. And I feel good.
So, and it's not just, loving your mom and thinking it's mommy and me and we're going to look alike, dress alike and all that. It's also, it is social media too. And, you
Mhm.
see what is, put out there constantly of what beauty looks like, even these women that have absolutely nothing on their stomach, that like a complete six pack and all of that takes a lot of work too. And I'm so proud of them for being able to have a six pack. I don't particularly want to work that hard to get that because it doesn't mean that much to me. I, like Tori, have decided I just really want to be healthy. I want to be at a healthy weight for my overall health, you know? And I think that, Tori, you said something to me and I want you to share it with them, is when your relationship also with food changed,
Oh, this was a big thing.
because you used to think you would deny yourself of certain things, but you have a better relationship with food. Can you explain that?
So it's weird, okay? Because I don't eat dairy, gluten, or soy. So you would
She's
think,
allergic to it.
yeah, so you would think, oh my gosh, you're restricting yourself.
Yeah.
I don't really see it that way, and it's all about perspective. I don't see it that way. I
Yeah.
see it as this is what my body works on best, and this is what I'm going to do. And when I post on Instagram in my stories and I talk to other women that follow me, I say, this is what I do. It might not work for you. But I remembered being like, I can't eat this brownie right now because I need to fit. In high school, it was I need to fit in my size 00 prom dress. I have to run because I have to fit in that dress. I fit in those jeans. I have to look this way. And that caused a disordered way of eating and a really bad relationship with food because I restricted myself so much. I didn't let myself live. In restricting you the way you eat and the way you look at food, you're restricting your lifestyle and the opportunities and the things you can go do. Like if you want to go out to dinner, you're like, oh, I got to count this calorie. How many calories?
Mhm.
That's so crippling. It really is.
Mhm.
And I think that I when I was restricting gluten and dairy and soy and I'm not eating it anymore, and I felt how good I felt by just not restricting. I eat
Yeah.
dairy-free, gluten-free brownies. They're good, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're
in
good.
moderation.
In moderation,
Yeah.
but I don't restrict myself like that anymore. And
Yeah.
I think when that change was when it was my health, and I thought, my gosh, I have one life. I want to live it really well. And
Mhm.
I don't want to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't go out with my friends because,
Mhm.
I can't have tacos because I'm counting my calories or my macros or something. I just wanted to live. And it's so much freedom. And
And so but listen, this is what's interesting to me is the fact that when you were eating, or you felt like you were able to eat all of the things we didn't realize you were allergic to, now you feel more free and you are more restrictive on what you are able to eat, but
mhm,
you still feel better and more
yeah,
free and a better relationship with food
yeah.
because of the shift and perception of,
It's my health, not the way I look. It's my I'm not going to eat dairy or gluten anymore or soy anymore because
it
it makes
bloats
me
you and
feel bad.
and you feel horrible. Yeah.
And I just I enjoy my life so much more now that I'm not so focused on food. I tell mom all the time, now that I'm not focused on food, I realize how much my life revolved around food when I was being restrictive because I was always thinking about that next meal. What can I eat? What can I not eat? What did I
Yeah.
eat a couple hours ago? It just sucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so tired of it constantly being on my brain. And social media we have these unattainable.
Unattainable. Hmm.
Because in high school, I wanted a thigh gap. That's what I
Hmm.
wanted. I wanted a thigh gap. My thighs
Oh.
are definitely never going to be that small enough to have a thigh gap. And I think that by looking at other girls and other women and being like, I think you also want what you don't have all the time. The grass
Maybe.
is greener on the other side, people. Trust me.
That's true. I wanted to say, let me just interject real fast because I saw Lynn put up Bob, Debbie and Tori, what do you admire most about each other? And when I saw that, immediately I knew what mine was. Do you
I
want
know
me
what
to
mine
say
is
mine?
too.
You do?
Yeah. Your kindness.
Oh.
Your kindness. I think unconditional kindness, unconditional love and kindness, love for the people that she loves, because, you know, I feel that love. It's amazing. And kindness, you show kindness to strangers every day. And it's just, I always said, if I'm as loving and kind as you when I grow up, then I've made it.
Oh my gosh.
Top that, Deb.
Oh,
Top
wow.
that one.
Wow. I was going to say you're a little shit. No, Jesus. I love your drive.
Mhm.
You have what has caused friction between us two is also what I admire most about you, because you've had a lot,
Mhm.
you know, happen in your life that could have, you know, you could have used it as an excuse, you know, in a lot of ways. And you just kept plowing through, and you are super focused. And, you know, you can give people a lot of things, but you can't make someone have drive. You know, I know your dad said one time he wasn't the best athlete, but he made it to AAA and in the Baltimore Orioles league because of his grit and his drive. And he said he was outplaying athletes that were better than him because of this and the fact that he had grit and drive. And she has that. And it is empowering to watch. And she inspires me every day with the things that she does.
Oh,
So
thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you, for sure. Thanks, Bob, for asking that
Yeah.
amazing question that you're known for. He's the best question asker, deliverer of
Yeah.
the questions.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I need to pay more attention to what the comments Lynn's putting up, because I can't see the comments until she throws them up on the screen. So hang tight, people. If you're sending messages to us, I certainly want to see if you have any questions or comments or whatever. But, you know, it's just the relationship that you had with food. Also, this is another thing I just want to say, because I am so involved with my children. I always have been, and I still am. And it always amazes me as she has grown up, the things that she tells me that I didn't realize that were going on in her head when she was younger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important for us as parents to pay more attention to actions and not so much what the kids are or are not saying. Like, what would you say to me as a parent that would have helped you? Like, what could I have done better when you were younger and you were like trying to fit in that dress? And you were always athletic and you're always in sports. And I always thought she was exercising because she wanted to be better in sports.
So I would actually, this is really crazy. I actually would come home from softball games. I played center field. I was running the whole time, basically. Well, you know, softball, you have stops. But I would come home, take my cleats off, put my running shoes on, and run hills, because everybody knows spring season is prom, and I needed to fit in my dress. And it was like
and I was like, she is going to be the best athlete.
And it's almost like it's embarrassing to tell your mother, like, hey, I need to be rail thin because I want to fit in my prom dress. She would have looked at me and been like, no, that's not what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that we'll buy a dress that fits you. You don't fit the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as a kid, you know it all. And you don't really, I don't think you could do anything. And here's another thing about me. You can tell me all day long one thing, and I will say to you, no, I think this way. I'm open-minded, but at the same time, like, if I have my mind set on something, I'm going to fit in that dress. I'm going to fit in that dress.
Doberman.
Yes, I will fit in that dress. And I don't think, and I was looking at other girls my age and being like, oh, I want what she has. She's wearing this dress. I want this. So I think that there was nothing you could do. And I think that that's all revolves around, like, you have to do the work. You have to do the work on yourself. You can't say, Mom, help me feel better about how my body looks in this dress. You have to be able to be like, you know what? My legs are a little bigger, and that's beautiful. I'm going to find a dress that fits me and it fits me well.
Right.
And I think that that is self-love, and that it's all about you.
But it doesn't just happen. I mean, I think that there are people who find it, the self-love and acceptance of themselves sooner than later. And I think you're one of those people because you're now 23 years old.
Going on 24, baby.
And I know. It's amazing because that's how old I am. I
Oh my God. I know.
How is that possible, people? But I just think that, you have found it sooner than a lot of people do. A lot of people go their whole entire life fighting who they are and accepting who they are. So I also appreciate that in you, that you're able to be so self-aware.
Yeah, somebody is watching the Doberman. That would be Dad. He's watching the Dobie girl.
Yeah, and Bambi, she sat right here with Dalton, but Dalton's like chill. Like we're really action, Tori and I.
Yeah, we talk on our hands
But
a lot.
Bambi fell asleep between Dalton and I last week. But right now she's like, who knows where? But she's like, you guys are too much. You're extra. I gotta go.
And I will say, back to your point, I think that I'm anxiety girl. I have anxiety, really, really bad anxiety. And I think that I'm always thinking about things. And I think that that makes me hyper aware of how I'm feeling and things that are going on in my own head. It's good to an extent because I can say, why am I doing this? Do I love doing it? Do I love where I'm at currently? And I'm really good, even though I hate change. If I'm not happy, I move. Because even when I'm sad, like really sad and have really bad days, I'm laying in bed. I've always been like, I gotta get up. I gotta move. Because I that's how I'm wired. But I think that, it's you find it some days and you find it and you don't others. And the days that you don't, those are so important to get up and move. Get up and move.
The days that you don't, are the days that
get up.
You have to just make yourself get up and move. But what about this? What's been going on with you in the last 6 months?
Oh my gosh. The last 6 months have been the most transformative. Little butterfly, because your symbol is a butterfly. I'm not there yet. Nowhere near that yet. But the last 6 months have been so brutal, hard emotionally. I think that if I could sum up, it would be emotionally drained because I've learned so much about myself. Here's the thing that we have had a constant conversation about. There are things that I've discovered about myself that I don't particularly like. And that's the hardest thing for me to get through. Because for me, I'm a very confident person. Pat myself on the back. Okay. I'm out there like, and I fake it till I make it even. So
sometimes you gotta push yourself, and that's kind of like faking it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And I say to myself the last couple months, I'm like, yikes, that's not something I particularly like about myself.
Yeah.
And something that you said to me that I tell myself out loud when I'm feeling that way is you're always going to find things that you don't particularly like about yourself, but you have to accept them, move on, let them go, because work on it if you need to work on it, because we're always growing and changing and being constant work. But don't let it be your downfall.
Well, and and you're right. I did tell you that. We all know, if we really are honest with ourselves, that there are things that we don't particularly love about ourselves. But what my point of telling Tori is to let it go, let it flow, is not that it's fine. It sucks. You suck. That's a sucky thing that's about you. Just keep it like that and don't think about it. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I just mean we all have things that we don't like about ourselves, but we can't beat ourselves up and beat ourselves down about it. Just try to make a change. And you don't have to change it all in 1 minute or 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. It's a process.
I would like to say what started all this, I moved into an apartment by myself in my second year of law school. I made a huge change in my life, moved in by myself in a little studio. I love her. I love my apartment. You guys talked about the trash can with Dalton. Dalton moved me in.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
You didn't. If
If
you
you
all
didn't,
didn't.
he helped me move in and he broke my trash can. I would like to put my 2 cents in just really quickly. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch Dalton's, but then come back and watch this because this is my 2 cents. Okay. I bought the matching set from TJ Maxx. It was the little soap dispenser and the trash can. They matched. Gorgeous, sparkly.
It was really pretty.
It was really pretty, and Dalton broke it, and I was already tired. Okay. So, yes, I did have a little bit of a mental break with the trash can.
You were
But
like, oh, trash can.
Dalton said, I leaned up against my counter and took a deep breath. And he goes, "Oh, if you're quiet, this is scary."
He also said, you might want to sit down. And he goes, and Mom, she sat down. She never does what I tell her to. And he said, that's when I thought, oh God, this is bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
I was like, a family heirloom? She's like, it's my trash can.
But then, like 5 minutes, Dalton's so great. He's the best person to make. Nobody will make me laugh like Dalton. Like 15 minutes later, he was cracking jokes about it, and I was crying laughing because I was like, oh my God, I acted like a psychopath. Like, what is going on? But I will say, moving in by myself, making that change, I had never lived by myself in my.
You always had a roommate.
And Dalton left, and I was alone, and I just kind of went, oh, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with Tori, and let's make sure I love that person. And that's what sparked it all.
Yeah.
And then that's when I found out there's some unsavory things about Tori. There's some things we don't like. And you've got to move past it. And you've got to be like, you know what? I'm going to work on her. I'm going to work on this right now and try to be better. Try to be more kind, more open-minded, less stubborn, less, judgmental, things like that. So I think that sparked it all.
Yeah.
And then law school. I'm in law school. I mean, that beats you down emotionally too.
Yeah.
So I think it's all a work in progress too.
Yeah, it is. And you even said, people use this phrase all the time, but it's the first time I've ever heard you say it. And it's trust the process.
Oh, trust the process, baby.
And you're I know what it means for me, but what does trust the process mean to you?
So as an anxiety overthinker, I want to know the plot, all the way up, down. You know how you learn in school, like the plot of the movie? I want to know the entire movie before it starts because my anxiety tells me I need that. It's a false sense of control.
It's a false sense of control.
So that's what I do. But I think that I've had to learn to trust the process so much now, and even in the past 6 months.
Well,
so
let's
start with my story. I'm
gonna interject.
Okay, so I graduated from the Ohio State University in business marketing. Love her. OH. I know everybody going, oh, okay. I wanted to go there for law school. I had my mind set. One track mind, and nobody's going to tell me any different. We've talked about this. So I said, I'm not applying to any other law schools in Ohio because if I don't get into Ohio State, I don't want to go.
You don't want to go to. Now wait, repeat that.
I don't want to go to Capital or anywhere else in Ohio law school.
If she didn't get into Ohio State, she wanted to go out of state.
Yeah. So I applied to places like Wake Forest and places in Florida where it's sunny all the time. And I was like, if I don't get in Ohio State law school, I'm going to go somewhere else for law school. I don't want to stay in Ohio.
Yeah. Mom
said, Tori, maybe you should reevaluate and apply to Capital. At least apply to Capital as a fallback. And I said, no. And I waited to the last minute to apply. And she said, come on, Tori. I just take my word for it. I said, okay, trust the process. Okay. I lived on campus at the time when I applied to law school because I was just graduating undergrad. I would, in the summertime, go into Mort's College of Law and be like, hey, my name's Victoria Bettendorf. Do you have my application? And they're like, this is a psycho. She's coming in and asking about her application. And I didn't get in. Okay. Let's get to the end of the story. I didn't get in to Ohio State. I mean, crushed me. And I thought, well, I guess, whatever. I still wasn't even thinking about Capital. I was still like, well, I guess I'm going out of state because
Yeah.
because I'm stubborn, and I said I'm going to Ohio State or nothing, in Ohio. So long story short, I decided I'm scared. I want to stay home. I want to stay in Columbus. I love Columbus.
And you already had a place.
And I already had a place and everything. So I said, we'll stay in Columbus. And I wasn't happy about it. I was like, I'm going to transfer. I'm going to take a year at Capital and I'm transferring. I had my mind set on that. I went to orientation and it was like a whole week, but this one day, it was the end. And I was already.
But wait, prior to that, you got to tell them about what happened.
Oh yeah. So I lived in like a complex, but it wasn't like one of those big complexes. It was like a little brick building, and the front door locked to the outside world. And
there was a little lobby that was always locked.
Yeah, always locked. Nobody was in there. It was just our mailboxes. And I got, if it's not enough, I don't know why they do this. They send you a rejection in your email and say, hey, by the way, loser, we don't want you. That, okay? And then they send you, if you didn't get the message already, you get it written as well because it's in your mailbox. So I got you suck, you don't get in.
But while your way home from, you'd come home.
I'd come home.
This is in the book, by the way.
Okay. Oh, wait. Actually, I think I have my, oh, there it is.
Shameless plug.
Here it is. I think it's on page, I have it bookmarked 93. If you have your book, I would follow along here. This is where the story is.
Don't read it.
I'm not going to read it, but you can read it along while I'm talking, I guess. But I came home from the gym and I go up to my mailbox and I see my rejection letter and I'm like, this sucks. But on my rejection letter, wait,
but the reason I said, look for signs. I said, do you ever pray?
Yeah.
Do you ever pray to God and ask him to show you signs because she had come home crying. I didn't get into Ohio State. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got into Pitt. I got into Charleston. I got into so I don't think I'm going to stay. I'm like, you should really, it's fine.
She told me to ask God for a sign. I'm on the right track. That trust the process. That it's what it's supposed to be. And when I got my rejection letter, there was a sticky note on it. And I was like, what is this? I was nervous. And I looked at it and it said, fuck Morts. And I was like,
I thought you were going to say F or something.
No, I'm a trash mouth. I said, I looked at that and I started laughing so hard. And I was like, somebody in my apartment complex was like, she got a rejection letter. I'm going to stick it on there. And that was my sign. And I'm like, that's not what was meant to be. Fast forward to Capital's orientation. And I was there, and I'm going to be honest with you. I was sitting there not fully engaged in like listening about the history of the law school. So I'm like, I'm going to be here a year. I don't really want to stay. And one of the last days, the dean came in and talked to us, and I was like, he said some things, and he was like, we're a family here. This is hard. We've got your back. And I got really emotional, and I got in my car and I started crying, and I called you on my way home, and I said, I don't know, Mom, I'm right where I need to be. I feel a sense of peace that I'm right where I need to be. And I don't know, it was before classes even started.
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody. I don't know. It was just like, oh yeah, you're meant to be here. I have met the best people while I've been in law school. The best. And Katie, Cassidy, Haley, Sophia, Kristen, my babies, my girls, I have never had a core group of girls that have been my cheerleaders. And they have been the most amazing people in my life. And the most loving. I've never met a group of girls who, even when I mess up, they're like, we love you. You can mess up all you want and you can be all this, but we're going to be here to cheer you on and hold you when you cry, because that's what we're here for. And if I would have been stubborn and been like, I'm not going to Capital because I want to go to Ohio State, I wouldn't have met those great great friends.
Women. Yeah.
And I love my classes. I love my professors. I love the group of people I'm with. So
not a chance that you're leaving. And
Oh,
the funny thing
my
is she
first year-
applied to Ohio State just to see and got in.
I got in. It was out of spite. I was like, I'm not going, but I'm gonna apply and be like, I got in, and I'm like, but I would never leave. I would never leave. I would never.
And they made you an ambassador there. They love you as much as you love them.
And it's amazing. I love it. It's just,
and the fact is too, you wanted to talk about, and this is a little bit, it wasn't planned, you guys. She said she wanted to talk about body image, fitting in, and what else? What did I write it down?
You wrote it down.
Oh, growing up, fitting in while also finding yourself, loving, being your living your authentic self. But this is like a good segue into fitting in. A lot of girls, a lot of women, even my age, it's like,
my mom obviously for me was the rule book, because she had amazing high school friends. My godmother, Trudy, she has been my mom's best friend since high school. And I saw that and saw the friendship in them, and I was like, oh, I want that. That's all that I want. That I love that. They're beautiful friendship. I never got it, and I didn't get it until I went to law school. Even undergrad. At Ohio State, you're a number, kind of. It's kind of hard to, especially for someone.
A lot of people do. You didn't put yourself out there.
I need a Debbie. I think that what you did, I need a Debbie.
You didn't put yourself out there.
Yeah.
There are you if you want to be involved and you want to be known, you can be.
Yeah.
It's the thing. You didn't want to be. You just wanted to go to class, and that was it.
Yeah, but I think that I still yearn for that type of friendship.
Yeah.
And
but once again, what do I always say? There's two things. One, you got to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Even with friendship, you got to put yourself out there, and to have a good friend is to be a good friend.
Be a good friend, yes.
And so, and we all, we're not always the best friend, and we're not always, and our friends aren't always the best friends to us all the time, because we're not perfect. But we got to give each other grace, and we all have done that.
Yeah, and I think that I just wanted that. Friend. So she's
hey, I want to share something real quick. This little video. You guys could talk about it.
Okay.
Here we go. Now move apart so they can see you when I play it.
Mother and daughter questions. Who's the best cook? Who's funnier? Who's more emotional? Who's more likely to get back with their ex? Who's more grumpy in the morning? Who's the meanest? Who's the drama queen? Who is the best secret keeper? Who spends the most money? Who is most likely to get into a fight? Most likely to be a stripper? Most likely to marry a drug dealer? Most likely to rob a bank?
Couldn't rob.
Yeah, we did that. We just did that today. That's funny, Lynn. Snoop Dogg, you're on it. Thank you. My producer's the best.
Yeah, that.
But to be a good, to have a good friend is to be a good friend. And one of the things that's really important is, if you don't know, not to say in high school, I did not know who I was. I'm still finding it, people. I mean, I know who I am now, but in high school, you just want to fit in. And I was always a people pleaser. So,
and that's another thing. I wasn't truthful with myself, and I would say I'm not a people pleaser. I don't care what people think. I run my own on my own. I'm good. I am such a people pleaser, and I knew it deep down, and you got to be honest with yourself. And I wanted people to like me, and I think the biggest thing in high school that was my downfall was I would chameleon in and out of groups, because I'd be like, oh, I want them to like me. I'm going to say what I need to say for them to like me, because I want to be liked. But I didn't like myself. I was like, oh, I don't even know who this person is. Like, I'm goofy. I love to laugh. I love to be a goon. I really do.
Yeah. And I do too. And we have so much fun together, and we always have. And
Yeah.
I would see you in social settings and think, why are you acting like that?
I don't chameleon anymore because
Yeah.
I'm like, I like to be around myself. And if
Aw.
other people don't,
Mm.
that's okay. What they say?
Teresa.
Oh.
She said you've always been amazing in school and even now.
Oh, thank you.
Teresa, we're just going to keep that comment up the
yeah,
whole show.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
But yeah, I think that I don't do that anymore, and I'm happier. Even if people don't like me, and it's not anything against them. If everybody got along, and if everybody liked each other, and like everybody was everybody's person,
I think that means that someone's bending and not being their authentic self.
So like I want you to be completely authentic. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if Cassidy is watching, but Cassidy helped me see that. She was like, she's so authentically herself and strong and amazing that she like cheers me on to be the same way. And like, no, we love you for who you are. And that's
well, and another thing, don't get the book up, but I'm
getting my tea.
In the book though, I did say that when my kids were growing up, I would always tell them, be yourself, because then the people who like you really like you.
Yeah. And
if
that's
you're
special.
not being, you're right. And if you're not being yourself with these people, then they are liking someone that isn't really you.
And it's exhausting to keep that up.
So it's
really
like,
is.
and that's one thing I can honestly say. Like, I may have not, I was a people pleaser. I wanted, but I did always, I just was the same. I didn't change depending on group. And I mean, sometimes I'm just the same, no matter what group.
And I think I'm there too. I think that's, I think being authentic is freeing. I think that you can, when you're yourself.
And sometimes, like you said, going off on your own for a while has made you self-reflect and have a relationship just with you with that time. So that's important too. I don't know. It's just, I think it's interesting because we've covered a lot of things, but like when you and I have conversations, sometimes we go really deep and really detailed. And sometimes I'll just be like, all right, get to the point on that one, because, it can go off in a lot of other tangents, but I think we're keeping it real, but also keeping it within our time limit.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you could give advice, go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Advice to people?
No, like advice to young girls, like and to mothers, like we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but like, what would you say to young girls who are yearning to be in a group of friends that she doesn't feel like she fits in, or guys too? It happens with guys too. Or a girl that doesn't love her body, that doesn't think she looks like she should. What advice would you give her or him?
I would say love yourself first and focus.
But how
on
do you
yourself
do that?
First.
Now, if I would have said love yourself, you would have been like, are you on like medication?
Take time for self-care. I think that's a big thing. Working out for me was a big thing. Playing my guitar, playing my piano was
therapeutic
a big thing.
Stuff, like
therapeutic things that make you be like, oh my gosh, I love doing this, and it's all me. And I think
that's really a good point. Like finding out what you're good at and what you enjoy and practicing it is taking focus off of physical looks too. And even when you're working out, those endorphins get going, you feel stronger, and it's not necessarily that you're going to look like this girl in the magazine who's, by the way, airbrushed and even filters on everything.
I think
so don't try to reach for something that's not even
it's
attainable.
So hard to say love yourself.
Yeah, I know,
but it's different for everybody. How you love and how you find that self-love is different from how I have. It's just finding those things. Find it. Tagline. Find it.
Another shameless plug. I'm all about it.
And all you do things and be selfish sometimes. Not all the times, because it's bad, but be selfish and think, I want to be able to feel good right now and be able to hone in on a skill or something like that. Now, body image is something you work through. And, I think that people want to be loved, And I think a lot of physical attributes and like what you feel is, especially as a young kid, you think of it as, oh, I want a boy to like me, or I want a girl to like me. In high school, it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
And I think that you can beat yourself down and be like, well, they don't like me because of this. It is so, to have a connection with somebody that is on not a physical level and just be like, I love the person that you are. That means so much more than how you look. Because guess what, honey? You're going to get old one day.
Yeah.
And
things drop, things crinkle.
Yeah.
Wrinkle.
And if you still look at the person next to you and say, oh my gosh, I love who you are. Then
we have fun together. You know, we laugh.
And then, but as a kid, you're like, oh, great. You're telling me that I'm going to have a notebook story type relationship. But if you focus on what makes you to your core, you'll radiate. And you doesn't matter how you look, you'll radiate that confidence, and people will attract to you. And even if you're like, okay, I don't really care if people attract me or a boy or a girl or anything, I just don't love myself. Still do those things, because you'll radiate to yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I love that. So that's
but the thing is, I also want to bring this up, and this is cringy a little bit.
Oh,
so
no.
You might be like, thanks a lot, Mom.
Good thing we're running low on time there.
I know. So, but you had said to me that you've done so much inner work, and you've, found more of who Tori really is, things that you love about yourself and things that you might not so much. But you kind of revert back and you feel like old Tori, who's the people pleaser, who wants to be a chameleon and conform into different groups. Sometimes when you will be in town and you'll see people from your past.
Yeah, it's like a blast from the past, and it's almost like you take a time travel and you go back. Because sometimes those relationships and how you feel about people around you are solidified in that time period. And it sucks because you're like, oh, I want to, and you can connect, but it's different. And I think that, there's and this is the sad part about life. Sometimes you grow with people, like they're with you and they grow with you and you're good. And sometimes those people are still great people, important people, and everything in your life, but you don't grow together. You don't grow together.
But the thing is, like you've said, if I would have been my authentic self years ago, you would have had more fun and you would have had more friends.
Yeah, I think I would have. And sometimes I've said to Mom, I wish some of the people I went to high school with would meet me now
for the first time.
Yeah, because I think I'm pretty cool.
You are very cool. So we're going to wrap this up here soon, but I want to talk a little bit. I mean, we've talked a lot about how you have found yourself and you're continuing to find yourself.
Constant work,
trust the process, all that stuff. But can you share another thing that you have found, or elaborate more on anything in your life that you have found that has inspired you that you can share to inspire us too?
Okay.
I mean, this isn't a trick question. You say you watch the show. I always ask look at these cute earrings. I'll give you time. Da, 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 da. Think of your answer. Aren't these so cute?
I think I found the confidence and found the strength to do all the work.
Ooh.
So I found the confidence in myself and the strength to say, no, I need to move. I need to do something. I need to work on myself. I need to grow. And because you can stay in the same rut. And I felt myself there.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt myself, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore and be like, I'm completely happy with where I am and who I am. So I found the strength to rip myself out of that and say, change, be better, grow, do it. And the confidence to do it too, because you have to be confident. Because if you're not, somebody can knock you down real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Confident
and also it's brave, in my opinion. It's brave and strong to really look deep inside and know that there's some things that need to be changed.
Yeah, it sucks. That sucks when you realize that. You're like, oh, But
Yeah.
make the change.
Yeah. I always love a person who's willing to say, there's some stuff I need to work on. And yeah, I'm going to help myself along there or whatever. But anyway, well, who knows where the night's going to go when we say peace out. We may continue this conversation. And also, I just want to say, last week with my son, we were dressed at the top and had sweatpants at the bottom.
Oh, can I show my shoe?
And also, let's just show your shoe. And these pants fit her really cute. So I wanted to say, I used to dress her when she was younger. I still do. What am I talking about? Yeah. So they have a little pink toe, a little gold. And then her
Sexy.
hot mama.
The
But
pants.
I said I used to dress her.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah.
See?
So they're a little bit big right now. Oh, they're not really big. Anyway, I would always dress her in like things that cinch in at the waist and then have some flow at the bottom. And she used to hate it because she always wanted to wear what was in style. And so what I've always said is just because it's in style doesn't mean it's your style.
And where'd you get that, Debbie?
From Find Your Fabulous.
No, where'd you get? Who said that first? You lie.
I said it.
I did.
Did you?
Yes, I told you that. Oh.
Okay, the referee here. Almost time's up.
Put your boots up. Oh, by the way, when we arm wrestle, I win.
Oh my
Maybe not now.
gosh.
She's been pumping. Some
Okay.
iron.
Okay.
Okay. What do we want? Anything else? Did I forget anything?
No, I think
That's it.
I think we're good. I hope you enjoyed this little girl chat.
Yes.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. I always forget to say that. Please, whoever's watching, it would be amazing if it's free. Just go put your email in, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then when I have guests on every Wednesday night live at 8 p.m., you'll get a little notification saying, hey, she's live. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to, but you'll be notified that way. So there you have it. Thank you, sis. That was amazing. All right. So with that, thank you all for joining us. I will be live again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. with Martin Lopez, and he has a nice story, and he is a great guy. So I can't wait to meet him right along with you guys. And let's have the outro.
Let's cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
that floats around me.